All right, let's dive right in. Today, we're going to explore something pretty fascinating and honestly pretty chilling. We're going to see how a system designed for one specific purpose can morph into something else entirely, something far, far more sinister. And we'll unpack it all by looking at just a single powerful sentence. Here it is. This single sentence is our guide for today. It seems so direct, right? So concise, but packed inside these few words is a profound story of transformation. So we're going to dissect it piece by piece to really understand the journey it describes. So first up, section 1, the Genesis. Let's go right back to the very beginning. You know, the word Genesis is all about a beginning, an origin story. It implies a moment of creation, an intended purpose. And if we really want to understand the dark path this system eventually took, we absolutely have to start here. We have to ask, what was it supposed to do in the first place? Which brings us to section 2, an initial purpose. What was the declared reason for these camps to exist? Well, the first part of our sentence tells us exactly that. The initial purpose was explicit. These camps were built for political prisoners. Now, this wasn't random. It was a very targeted action against a very specific, well-defined group of people. So, who exactly were these political prisoners? Well, they were the opponents, the critics, the people who dared to speak out or challenge the ruling power. This tells us something crucial. Right from its inception, this system was a tool for political control. It was designed specifically to silence opposition. Okay, now for section 3, the turning point. This is where everything starts to change. Over time, just 2 simple words, but wow, these 2 words are the pivot point for this entire story. They signaled this gradual, almost invisible shift that ultimately leads to a complete and horrifying transformation. You see, this wasn't some sudden event. It was a slow, creeping evolution into something else entirely. And that brings us to section 4, a tool of terror. This is what the system became. This slide just lays it all out crystal clear. On the left, you have the starting point, a political prison, a system designed to contain and remove opposition. But look at the right. Look at where it ended up. A tool of terror. The purpose wasn't just to remove opposition anymore, it was to stop it from ever even forming. The mission shifted from silencing a few to intimidating everyone. And what does terror and repression actually mean in practice? It means creating a society where fear is the main tool of control. The goal is no longer just punishing people who are actively dissenting. No, the goal is to create a climate of fear so deep that the very thought of dissent becomes dangerous. Nobody feels safe. Everyone is a potential target. Finally, section 5, why this matters. So what's the big takeaway from all this? This leaves us with a final, really unsettling question, doesn't it? How does a tool created for one specific job become an instrument of widespread terror? The journey we've just traced in that one single sentence is a stark warning. It tells us that the stated purpose of any system isn't set in stone. The potential for transformation, for better or for worse, is always, always there.